Welcome to sixth grade language. This is lesson 156. We're going to be looking at pages 244 all the way to 246. And you have a test tomorrow. So we've got the end of the regular, the practicing with adverbs, and then we're doing the looking back. And so there's quite a bit here, and so we're going to work through as much as we can. I'll make sure that you understand how to do each section, but this is the one that I'm doubling up for you guys. This is actually lesson 156 and 157 together, so the next lesson will be 158. So this is the double up for your for language, so these will be good pages to study for your test, and so make sure that you study your adverbs for the test, and so we're going to take a look up here and at these sentences. It says, the first one says, Daniel played first base last summer, but now he is the pitcher, okay? In order to find our adverbs, we need to identify all the words, the other words in the sentence, okay? So, where's our subjects and verbs? Okay, so what's it talking about? Who's it talking about? Daniel. And Daniel did what? Or is there a linking verb? Played, okay? Is played action or linking? Action, okay? What did Daniel play? He played bass. Okay? So that was an action verb. Bass is what? Direct object. Okay? So action verb, subject. Okay, now. What does first describe? So where's our questions, all right? So what kind, which one, how many, how much, whose? Okay, did it answer any of those? Which one, right? So it's an adverb describing base, or an adjective describing base, I'm sorry. This is an adjective. So Daniel played, and so then let's start asking adverb questions. Let's see if we can find something that answers an adverb question. Daniel played where? Daniel played when? Last summer, okay? So this is an adverb. I'm going to draw it down here, describing played, okay? And last, hold on, something's not right. All right, sorry about that. We're just gonna go back to where we were. So Daniel played what? Bass, and that's a direct object. First describes bass. Last actually describes summer. It's an adjective, and so, but let's go to the second set. So, but now he is the pitcher, okay? But is our conjunction, right? It's joining the two sentences. What is the subject and verb in this half of the sentence? Okay. He what? He is, right? And is linking or action? Linking, all right? So he is, which is a linking verb, and he is what? The pitcher, right? And if this is a linking verb, this is a predicate nominative, right? Because pitcher is a noun, okay? The word that we really need to look, and that describes pitcher, the word that we really need to look at is now, okay? So we need to see what that describes in our sentence, okay? So, he is the pitcher. So let's start asking our questions. Where is he the pitcher? When is he the pitcher? Now, right? So that's an adverb describing is. Okay, a lot of words that have reference to time are adverbs. We've seen that before, okay? So let's go move on. The flock of sheep grazed on the hillside, okay? Let's find our prepositional phrases in this sentence, okay? The flock of sheep grazed on the hillside. Of sheep on the hillside, very good, all right. So, where's our subject and verb? Flock did what? Grazed, okay? So, the flock of sheep grazed on the hillside. We know the describes flock, right? So what does of sheep describe? Let's start asking questions. Which one? What kind? What kind of flock of sheep, right? There's an adverb phrase, or an adjective phrase, I'm sorry. Messing up my words all right now. Okay, on the hillside. So let's see, does it answer an adjective question? Which one? No. What kind? No. How many? How much? And whose? No. So let's start with adverb. Where? Grazed where? On the hillside, right? So this is an adverb phrase going back to the verb. All right? Michael rarely has time for hobbies. Let's find subject and verb. Michael has, right? Now we've got 4 hobbies as a prepositional phrase over here. Michael has what? Time. And has an action verb or a linking verb? Linking verb, right? So time is a predicate nominative. No. Hold on. And time does not rename the subject. This is an action verb and that's a direct object. So I'm so sorry about that. Okay. So we have rarely and 4 hobbies that we need to identify where it goes, okay? So let's start asking questions. Where? When? How often? Rarely, okay? How often, that's an adverb. Rarely. Has time for hobbies, okay? Let's ask our questions about 4 hobbies. Is which one? What kind? How many? How much? And whose? What kind, right? Time for what kind? Hobbies. There's your adverb phrase, no, an adjective phrase describing time, which is a direct object. Okay, all right, on these ones, we're gonna do something a little differently than what I had been doing before. We're going to put P if it is the positive, so that's that very first column, C if it's comparative, and S if it's superlative, okay? So remember, comparative is, or positive is one thing, right? There's no comparison of anything, okay? It's just one. Comparative is 2 things compared. Superlative is 3 or more things compared, okay? So, well is well, positive, comparative, or superlative? It's positive, right? All right. What about badly? Badly. Is this positive, comparative, or superlative? This one's just positive, okay? More, okay? More. Is this positive, comparative, or superlative? Can you have more of something? Or can something be more talented? So it's a comparative, right? So, but more is just 2 things, right? Farther is, would that tell 2 things or more? It's comparative, it's just 2, right? And then least, would that talk about 2 things or 3 or more things. That's our superlative, okay. Now, what would be the superlative of more? Much. Okay. What about the superlative of farther? Farthest. And then the comparative of least is less. Okay. All right. So that hopefully that helps you with those. Let's look at this. And on 244, at the top it says, of the 3 boys, Tyler is what? And we use the form tall. Okay, so what would which form of tall would we use? Would we use tall, taller, or tallest? Those are our 3 options. Of the 3 boys, Tyler is blank. Okay, so how many are we comparing? 3. Okay, so we need the superlative, right? So we need tallest. All right, so that's your first one. Think F, underline each prepositional phrase. On each line, write ADJ if the phrase is an adjective. Write ADV if the phrase is an adverb. All right. There are 2 phrases in the third sentence, okay? Good sportsmanship is important on the basketball court. Okay, where is your prepositional phrase? On the basketball court. Okay? Good sportsmanship is important when? Is important where? On the basketball court. So it is an adverb phrase. So number 1, underline on the basketball court, and it's adverb, ADV. Okay, so you'll do that. Think G is on notebook paper. Rewrite the following paragraph, correcting all errors in the use of modifiers and misplaced adverb phrases. Let you do that one on your own. Using verbs, cross out each incorrect form in verb form in parentheses. Number 1, that model airplane has flew or flown as much as 200 yards. Okay, that model airplane has flew or flown as much as 200 yards. So this is review on some of the verbs that we've done. So it should be flown, all right? So cross out flew, flown would be correct, all right? So you'll do the rest of those. Page 245, subject and verb agreement, you're gonna write is or are, okay? You don't have to come up with a different word, it's is or are. Using nouns, in the following sentences, write PN above each predicate nominative, DO above each direct object, IO above each indirect object, and DA above each noun of direct address, okay? And then pronouns, subject, and verb agreement, write the correct verb in the blank. So pick one of the 2. Let's go back up. Let's do number 1, $75 is or are a lot to pay for a dress. Okay, so is $75 one thing, or is it talking about multiple things? When we talk about cash or cents, it's one thing, right? It's one lump sum. Okay, so is would be the correct. $75 is a lot to pay for a dress. All right, number 2, spaghetti and meatballs is or are my favorite Italian food. Okay, again, is spaghetti and meatballs one thing, or is it considered 2 dishes? It's considered one dish, right? So which one would we use? Is, okay? Is. So you'll do the rest of those. And then number 1 in using nouns, Lily, did you send your grandmother her present? Lily, did you send your grandmother her present? All right. Okay, so we have, we have the word Lily, or the name Lily. Is it one of those four? Is it a predicate nominative? Is it direct object, indirect object, or direct address? Okay, remember direct address is talking to someone. So this one is a direct address, okay? Did you send your grandmother her present? All right, what's our subject verb? You did send. You did send what? Present, right? To who or to whom? To grandmother. So present is do and grandmother is what? IO, indirect object, okay? So you're gonna finish that. And then number one, the next section, some of the peaches in this basket is or are rotten, okay? So some is in our list as an indefinite pronoun that is always, sorry, it's always plural, okay? So if it's plural, which one is plural, is or are? Are, okay, so are would be the correct one in the blank, all right? Using pronouns, cross out the incorrect pronoun and write the correct pronoun above them. If a sentence is correct, write C beside the number of that sentence, okay? And there are 2 sentences in this, out of these 7 that are correct, okay? Nicholas and me listen to the shortwave radio. Nicholas and me listen to the shortwave radio. Okay, what's our subject? Nicholas and me. Can me be used as a subject? Which one is the subjective? I. Okay, so Nicholas and I listen to the shortwave radio. So cross out me and write I on the top, okay? Using adjectives, the following sentences contain adjectives used incorrectly. Cross out any incorrect words and make corrections where necessary. If a modifier is misplaced, underline it and draw a caret where it should be. Okay, number 1, the Walker home is the most largest in the city. The Walker home is the most largest in the city. Something wrong with that sentence? Or well, all of these do have something wrong with them in this section, I'm sorry. But what is wrong? Do we use most and EST together? No, so we would just take out most and it could just say the Walker home is the largest in the city, okay? And then the diagram the following sentences on notebook paper. So you're gonna have to identify all of the words in this sentence to be able to diagram all of it, okay? And use those pages in the back of your book, the 291 and 292, with those diagrams to help you remember where things go, all right? If you are still unsure of that, okay? So that very first one, after the crucifixion, Peter and some other disciples entered a boat, all right? We will do this one together. All right. Okay, Peter and after the crucifixion. All right, so let's find everything first. So after the crucifixion, what is that? Prepositional phrase. So put it in parentheses, or so that you don't find your subject there. Okay. So who are we talking about in the sentence? Peter and disciples. Okay. So those 2 are your subjects. Peter and the disciples did what? Entered. There's your verb. Entered what? A boat. Okay, is entered an action verb or a linking verb? It's an action, right? You can do that. So boat would then be what? Direct object. Okay. All right. After the crucifixion, we need to know what that describes, right? So let's ask our questions, okay? Which one? After the crucifixion, what kind? How many, how much, and whose? No. Okay, where? When? After the crucifixion. It answers when, so what is it? What would it be describing? When they entered, okay? So you're after the crucifixion, they entered a boat. So it is an adverb phrase. And then some and other we have not identified. So what do those describe? So we can start asking some questions. Let's ask adjective questions. Which one? What kind? How many is some? What kind would probably be the other? So they do describe disciples, and you may have already said that, but they do describe disciples. So this, how many subjects do we have in this sentence? 2, right? So we need a rocket. Okay, how many verbs do we have? 1. What type of complement do we have? Direct object. Okay, straight line comes to this line but doesn't go through it. Not like this one, okay? Okay, so Peter, disciples. We have and here, right? Some other disciples, okay? Our verb is what? Entered, good job. And entered what? The boat, or a boat. So a goes underneath boat, right? Okay. After the crucifixion, we said described what word? Entered, so we're gonna put it right here. So we have after. Remember, we write our object on the line, and then we write any describing words. We wouldn't say after the crucifixion, we have to say after crucifixion, the. All right, but we read it after the crucifixion. We just read it. Yeah, we're good at, you'll get used to doing that in your reading of diagram sentences. Okay, so that's the first one. You can write that down, but then you're gonna do the others on your own. Just be careful of prepositional phrases that describe the object of the preposition before the prepositional phrase before it. So you make sure that you have those going to the right words. All right. Oh, so it's for in class, you're supposed to do the odd numbered sentences, and homework is to diagram the even numbered sentences. But maybe I didn't have that on there for homework. So if I did have that on your sheet for homework, do that. If not, then just do them all now. Continue reading your book report book and study adverbs for your test tomorrow. And we will see you in the next lesson.